most of the nowadays most of the questions are coming on BTP side only, basis with BTP. So if you see the requirement, most of the people, no one asking the questions on the basis side, and the HANA side also less questions they are asking. Most of the questions are coming on the BTP side. So just as a practical yesterday also, so they asked the questions. So many questions they are asking on the BTP side. So this initial thing, right? Only initial things, the basics they are asking on the BTP side, like the BTP side. If we talk about the main important thing is environments. Environments are very important here. So how the environments will play in the BTP, how the environments will play in the BTP here. So that is the environments, sub accounts. So mainly you need to concentrate on the BTP side is the environments. So environments. So we have the four types of environments. Then difference between. So yesterday one person asked the difference between the global account and the sub accounts, difference between the global account and sub accounts here. So then after that they asked that what services you have subscribed in the BTP. Then that is the how the connection will work, how the connection will work here. So connection details, like how can you integrate, your back-end systems, your SAP systems into, so systems into uh, BTP. How can you integrate your SAP? There is a procedure. First, we have to integrate the sub account into cloud connector. Then after in the cloud connector, so the sub account, so choose your sub account. Then you need to integrate your SAP systems here, right? There is a procedure. Directly cannot integrate it. Then after that, we have to create the destinations. You have to create the destinations here. You have to create the destinations here. So that is the one of the important thing they ask for the question in as part of the BTP. Then so some general so what is BTP? So something like some general introduction about the BTP and environment. What is an environment in the BTP? So that is the main thing here. Then also in which scenario or in which use case we choose the cloud foundry environment, in which scenario or which cloud foundry environment. So we have the types of environments are there, in which scenario we will use the cloud foundry environment here, CF environment here. So normally the cloud foundry environment in the BTP provides so all the tools, services, and also the services we will use to build the modern and cloud applications. So we can use it, all the programming languages, tools, wide array of tools are available in the cloud foundry here. So it's a great for the developers to who wants to build the flexible, and if they can use this cloud foundry environment, they can use it here. So basically the cloud foundry is based upon the open source application platform. So it's managed by the Cloud Foundry Foundation. There is a Cloud Foundry Foundation. They will manage it, but it's a open source application platform here. So it's mainly for the developers to build the applications, services, support. The many things are supports here, right? So in which scenario? Next one is in which scenario you choose the above environment. In scenario you choose the above environment here. So basically, they will ask you the environments, four type of environments. Which scenario? The Cloud Foundry is the most useful environment. So ABAP environment is like a it kind of like ABAP developments. The customers who wants to the customers are partners who wants to reuse their ABAP skills. So there is a great extension. This is one of the great extension to the develop their ABAP developments, cloud-based application. They can use this ABAP environment. We can use it here, right? So then, so then one more thing is destinations, right? So destinations, they ask destinations concept in the BTP side. So destinations, what are the destinations here? How the destinations will help to connect to the backend system here, right? Will you directly connect to the backend system? How? So via cloud connector, we will connect to the destinations, right? Via cloud connector, we will provision the backend data. So your cloud connector will act as a agent or intermediate or interface between your cloud applications and your backend systems. This will help us, right? Then what is the underlying cloud infrastructure for BTP, right? So what is the underlying? What is the underlying? So cloud infrastructure BTP here, underlying cloud infrastructure for so cloud infrastructure for so BTP here, underlying cloud infrastructure here. So which means so BTP is built with the multi-cloud on the multi-cloud foundation so that allows users to choose different infrastructure provider. It means it's our choice to choose the different infrastructure and different runtime services here. So that is our choice here. So BTP is available on the multi-cloud infrastructure means multiple infrastructure provider. They will provide the infrastructure layer like so Azure, AWS, Google, Alibaba Cloud. They will provide the infrastructure layer here. So and also global account, sub account concept that we know. So and also what is the relationship between sub accounts and the cloud foundry org and spaces here, right? So normally we know in the cloud foundry, the organization represents to the our organ. What is mean by org and space, right? What is so mean by org and space in the so cloud foundry organization represents to the organization cloud foundry organization, right? In the cloud for this will be available in the BTP sub-account level cloud foundry environment. If you choose it, there is org represents to the organizational account. So which means it's further divided into some spaces. This org is divided into the some spaces here. So which represents where our applications will run, will go and sit into the in these spaces here, right? When you enable the cloud foundry environment, system automatically will create the organization, which means cloud foundry org will be created here. So one sub account, there is a one organization, right? So we create the multiple spaces within that organization, right? Once the organization enabled, then only we can enable the spaces here, right? So means one sub account, one organization, under that multiple spaces we can create it here, right? So then Ha, so then some of the security related so service some of the security related services like security they may ask you what is mean by role collections role and everything. So role directly you cannot assign it. Role we have to assign to the role collections. That role collection we have to assign to the users. So that is the concept here. So the roles will be produced, it will be generated by the our applications. Whenever you subscribe the application, either roles or role collections will be generated here. From there, directly you can assign that standard role to the user or normal role, like you can just create the custom role, you can also assign it here, right? Normally, these terms, you know, what is meant by hyperscaler, right? Infrastructure as a service. So all those things, you know, right? Public cloud, private clouds, that concept, you know, I think, right? So public cloud, it's a it's a openly accessible for everyone via internet. So right, public clouds. So private clouds, public cloud, and also yeah, one more important thing here. So the licensing model here, BTP, the licensing models are very important. BTP licensing models. So commercial models, subscription models, these models are very important here, right? So and also what are the five main pillars in the BTP, right? BTP five five main pillars in the BTP. This is also one of the important point in the BTP side. So normally most of the things they ask you, most of our services, everything will come. right? So the BTP introduction history that we know, like when it has the rebranded everything here. So the one more thing is the what is BTP Cockpit? What is BTP Cockpit? It's a very, very important thing here. BTP Cockpit here. So BTP Cockpit is the web-based tool that offering to perform the development and administration activities. So it's like managing the sub accounts, configuring the sub accounts, application services, all those things we can use it here, right? So BTP Cockpit is provides a tool. This is a web-based tool for monitoring the BTP, all the applications and services using the BTP Cockpit. So each BTP Cockpit there is a version. So to check the BTP Cockpit version and UEFI version, you can log into the BTP, and if you see the about, then you see the BTP Cockpit version here, right? And also SAP UEFI version also you can see it here, right? So that is the one thing here. Then Discovery Center, SAP Discovery Center. So sometime maybe SAP Discovery Center, SAP Discovery Center. So right, SAP Discovery Center. So Discovery Center means all the our SAP related services everything will be in the Discovery Center here. Right here in the Discovery Center, so you have all the details are available in the Discovery Center here. Right. So and the programming model they may ask you, but it's a CDS for core that we don't require programming model. CDS like the core data services and all those things here. And that is the like some kind of development related activities here. So core data services, ABAP RESTful programming language. Normally in the ABAP environment, they will use the ABAP RESTful programming model. They will use it here. So for the development perspective, SDKs, Open Data Service, OData Services. Normally, OData Services means Open Data Protocol, which is used for so building the consuming the APIs, users to query, update the data. So some kind of like Fiori apps perspective, they will use it here. This Open Data Sources here. Right. So, and also application studio, business application studio is one of the development tool available in the BTP for the cloud customers here. We can use to build the application, extend the SAP applications, and there are the rich set of features are available in the business application studio here. It's a open source used for the so coding related things, all those things, low code, no code templates and everything. Yeah. So studio is the main, and also one more important thing is they asked the role. Next one, yeah, in the cloud connector, yeah. Then ask how will you install the cloud connector? Yesterday they asked one of the product-based company, how will you install the cloud connector? How will you install the cloud connector? Here they asked this question. How will you install the cloud? The basic thing, right? Then they asked me, how will you install the cloud connector? But you have to tell like here, JVM is a very important thing here. Cloud connector is a small agent, a small service which you can install it. We don't require to maintain the much hardware and everything. But only thing is separate the customer environment. We have to install the this cloud connector where your SAP systems are reachable. There we have to use the this cloud connector here. So that is the one thing they asked it. They asked me to explain end to end how to install it and all those things here, right? So that is the one thing here. And so that is the one what services you have subscribed from the BTP side. So these are the some important things they have asked in the so BTP side, some important things they have asked in the BTP side here, right? And also yeah, these are the some important things they asked here on the BTP side. So And yeah, coming to the BTP users, like there are the two types of users in the BTP. One is the platform users and business users here, right? Platform users are normally all the BTP users, they have categorized into the two ways here. Platform users and business users here. Platform users and business users here. So BTP users types. So platform and the business users. So platform users means we are the sorry we means usually developers, administrators, the operators who can deploy the services, everything. Sorry, application deploy the applications and everything. Those are the platform users. Business users mean they will directly use the application, so they don't want to log into the systems. They don't want to log into the sub account level. Directly, whatever the URL you give to them, they will use that applications. Which means, so after the development, so they will directly consume the application, that is called the business users here, right? Business users here, right? Business user, they will use the applications here, right? So that is the one thing here, global accounts, sub accounts here. So, and also identity providers, SSO configurations, and principal propagation. It's a principal propagation. One of the, so like, yeah. So how the, what changes if you want to do the SSO works? So principal propagation, so principal propagation here. So principal propagation, how it will works here. So first of all, what is the principal propagation here? So the principal propagation is allows users to be use the request, same user credentials to be propagated to the until backend system as well through multiple systems, so that we don't have any technical user between anything here, right? Securely it will propagate your passwords, everything authenticated to the from source, send source to target. It will be propagated, it will forward the information here, right? So what are the identity providers are available in BTP? In the BTP we have the SAP ID service, then the identity admin authentication service here, IAS. So these are the services are available here. So right, so authentication, identity providers in SAP itself here, BTP. So not only outside of the identity services like Okta, EDS, SAP identity services here. So I'm talking about the SAP identity providers, SAP identity providers here. So SAP identity providers means here. So normally our SAP ID service default authentication. Then the second one is the IAS here. IAS like SAP Cloud Identity Authentication Service. Identity Authentication Service here. So SAP ID service is the default identity provider, which is pre-configured. That whatever we have the user agreement, that is the default will come. IAS is the, for many customers, business users might be stored in the corporate identity providers. SAP recommend to use the SAP also recommending to use the IAS only here. So IAS only using the, so IAS cloud identity services, they can use the, so authentication service as a hub here. So we can connect to the IAS as a single custom identity provider to BTP here. So we can integrate the other identity providers also, we can integrate it here, right? So then that is the S user IDs, P user IDs, and D user IDs. We can use that one here. In which scenario we will suggest me to use IAS in the BTP here? Many customers, most of the customers already the use on premises and SAP ecosystem, their business users data already available in their corporate identity providers, right? Where these customers will building the some applications. Important question: how can we employees can authenticate to the applications then with their known credentials, right? In simple word, customer need to provide the single sign-on for their custom solutions. Then the BTP or cloud, whatever they have developed, they want to provide the, so they want to provide the single sign-on for their persons. In that case, IAS can either act as a IDP itself or delegate the authentication to the your corporate identity provider. It acts as a central hub, provides the single sign-on to all the cloud applications as well as the BTP applications we have seen yesterday, right? Same as like here. But yeah, so coming to the here, the role collections. So apart from that, so we can assign to the users here. So that is the one thing here. OAuth mechanisms. That is the normally in the OAuth mechanism we use it in the during the CTMS concept side we use it the OAuth mechanisms. SAML. SAML also that is a open standard based XML file here. Open standard XML based here. OpenID, SAML. So all those things here. This kind of things that definitely they may ask you the things here. So coming to the more things here, CI/CD, content, the continuous integration and delivery parts here, especially a part of the DevOps. So it kind of some automation kind of things like manual intervention to avoid the DevOps related things here, continuous integrations and all those things here, continuous delivery. So CI/CD. So what are the BTP offerings? So no one asked this development related things. And application studio, they asked it. Business application studio. So then, yeah, HANA Cloud. Yes, HANA Cloud. One more thing they asked me the question is like, did you work on the HANA Cloud? Yeah, via HANA Cloud Central, we have provisioned the HANA Cloud system. Then, so how the backups are managed by the SAP, how the restore works here. A restore is a RPO. It's not more than 15 minutes in the HANA Cloud Central. So it's not more than 15 minutes. So there we don't have any much options here. Only point in time recovery is available in the HANA Cloud, right? So the replication, they asked this question, how will you do the replication? Yes, one more important thing is they asked is the cloud ALM here. Can you give me some information about the cloud ALM and what are the capabilities are possible? So no one asked implementation side, only asked the operative side, operation side. In the cloud ALM side, they asked the how will you integrate the backend system into the cloud ALM? Can you explain like that? So I explained all those things, right? So then, yeah, that is the one. Mm. The next one, yeah, these are the things they mainly they asked questions in the half an hour. Most of the things they asked in the most of the things asked in the it's in the cloud ALM only. Cloud ALM only they asked most of the things here in the cloud ALM. So cloud ALM is the main thing they asked this cloud ALM. Nowadays they are asking more. Then and BTP related some basics questions they are asking in the BTP side. So you can concentrate main only the basics only. But because no one deeply asking like nowadays, but you can concentrate mainly on the BTPs, this one, these things we can